Hey everyone, welcome to another Explainer. Today we're zooming in on a place that honestly feels like a beautifully well-kept secret in our modern age. We're heading up into the breathtaking heights of Uttarakhand, India, to explore Almora. Now, what makes Almora just so incredibly fascinating is that it's a genuine, uncommercialized Himalayan gem. You know how so many mountain towns these days have kind of succumbed to rapid urbanization and shoulder-to-shoulder tourist traffic? Well, Almora has fiercely and frankly beautifully resisted all of that. It's completely managed to preserve its old-world charm, its deep cultural roots, and its pristine natural landscapes. If you've been searching for a truly authentic mountain experience, you are absolutely going to love this. I mean, just imagine it for a second. Escaping the endless gridlock, the noise, the concrete jungle of the city, and trading the whole shebang for a serene, 16th century old world cantonment. Picture yourself sitting at over 1,600 meters above sea level, 1638 to be exact, just breathing in that crisp, clean mountain air. You're surrounded by the quiet hum of nature and those massive, towering peaks of the Himalayas. That's the promise of Almora right there, a retreat that actually finally feels like a retreat. Okay, let's dive into this. Our explainer today covers four main areas. First up, the crown of Kumaon. Then, panoramic peaks and vistas. Third, temples and ancient heritage. And finally, planning your perfect escape. All right, part one, the crown of Kumaon, where we'll be exploring the culture and history. To really get Almora, we have to rewind its timeline, and it stretches back way further than you might expect. People have lived in this area for millennia. In fact, right down by the Suyal River, you'll find the Lakhudiyar Caves. It's this incredible archaeological wonder with literal Stone Age rock paintings showing animals, plants, and prehistoric daily life. Fast forward to the 16th century, and the town of Almora, as we know it today, was officially established as the capital of the Chand kings. You can still see that history today in the stunning traditional Kumaoni architecture, like the famous Khajanchi mansion. And today, well, it's evolved into this thriving hub for business, trade, and culture in the Uttarakhand region, but somehow it hasn't lost an ounce of its historical soul. And speaking of that cultural soul, you'll find some incredibly unique traditions here. Take the Uttarayani Fair, or as locals call it, Gugutia. It happens every January to mark the sun's northward journey. But here's the detail that I think is just so memorable. As part of the celebration, locals prepare these special sweets called gugute, and they actually feed them to crows and other migratory birds. It's a really beautiful, surprising way the community connects with the natural world around them. Now, we definitely can't talk culture without talking bazaars and food, right? Taking a stroll through Almora's vibrant roadside markets, specifically Lala Bazaar and Thana Bazaar, is a complete sensory overload in the best way possible. You've got generations of traditional coppersmiths and weavers making exquisite Kamoni woolen garments and handicrafts right there. And the food? Oh man, the food. Imagine wandering through the cool mountain air and stopping to taste bal mithai. It's this legendary milk-based dessert that you just have to try, or singauri, which is a sweet wrapped in malu leaves. And if you're more of a savory person, local dishes like aloo ke gutke or badki chirkani are absolutely going to hit the spot. Moving on to part two, panoramic peaks and vistas. Let's look at the natural splendor of the Himalayas. So there are two contrasting but equally magnificent ways to soak in the views here. First, just a quick 2 kilometers from the town center is Bright End Corner. It's a super peaceful spot, globally renowned for meditation, where you can literally watch the sky paint itself in these crazy crimson hues during the Himalayan sunrises and sunsets. Then, contrast that quiet reflection with the sheer adventure of Zero Point. Now, getting there requires a bit of a trek through a lush wildlife sanctuary, but the payoff? An unbelievable 360-degree panoramic view of the high snow-capped peaks. Totally worth it. Actually, that trek to Zero Point happens right inside the Binsar Wildlife Sanctuary, which honestly deserves its own spotlight. Sitting way up at 8,000 feet above sea level, this lush, protected natural reserve is just a complete haven for wildlife lovers. It's home to over 200 types of birds and animals. It's pristine, it's incredibly quiet, and it also serves as the perfect jumping-off point for famous longer treks out to places like Jageshwar and Mukteshwar. Which brings us to section 3, temples and ancient heritage, focusing on the spiritual landmarks of Kumaon. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this massive number right here, thousands. That is the sheer volume of brass bells you're going to find hanging at the Chitai Goludevta temple. This unique shrine is dedicated to Lord Goludevta, known as the God of Justice. Devotees travel from all over to make wishes, And when those wishes are granted, they come back and hang a brass bell to say thanks. The result is just this visually striking, deeply spiritual environment, constantly filled with the soft chiming of thousands of bells catching the mountain breeze. It's incredible. Another truly fascinating spiritual landmark is the Kasar Devi Temple. What sets Kasar Devi apart is that it's geographically situated right under the Van Allen belt, giving it this highly unique geomagnetic field. This distinct property, which is actually super similar to what you'd find at Machu Picchu or Stonehenge, gives the whole area a profound meditative allure. It draws in spiritual seekers looking for deep meditation, sure, but also researchers who are just really curious about the Earth's natural energetic properties. All right, let's get practical with Section 4, Planning Your Perfect Escape. We'll cover travel logistics and weather. Getting to Almora is definitely an adventure in itself, but it is very accessible. Step 1, your major transit hubs are either Pantnagar Airport, which is about 115 kilometers away, or if you're a fan of train travel, Kathgodam Station. Once you get to either of those spots, Step 2 is super simple. Just hire a local taxi or hop on a regional bus. And then Step 3, honestly the best part, you just sit back and wind your way up those incredibly scenic mountain roads, climbing all the way up to that 1,638-meter elevation mark. The drive up just builds so much anticipation for what's waiting at the top. And this brilliantly illustrates how you can tailor your visit based on the exact vibe you're going for. If you look at the peak season from April to June, temperatures are a super pleasant 14 to 28 degrees Celsius, which is absolutely perfect for all that hiking and outdoor sightseeing we just talked about. Now, if you don't mind a few rain showers, and you want to see the sanctuary at its absolute greenest, the moderate monsoon season from July to October is a great option with way fewer crowds. Or if you're looking for real quiet isolation, maybe cozying up with a cup of local ginger tea while watching it snow, the off-season from November to March gives you this beautiful, chilly, peaceful ambiance. So, after all that, we have to ask, with prehistoric art tucked into ancient caves, crimson Himalayan sunrises, and spiritual temples chiming with literally thousands of bells, what will you discover in Almora? Whether you're drawn by the rich Kumani culture, the pristine wildlife, or honestly just the chance to finally unplug and escape the noise of the modern world, Almora offers a sanctuary unlike any other. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Go ahead, start planning that itinerary, and keep exploring.